To all independent artists, DJs, producers, or maybe just music lovers, we need your help. Help us help you by building our music platform. Every day, new music by mainstream artists will be added, including the music we hope you'll be adding to help us grow. Support us because we support you.
All right? Ready? This was the last time we were here. It was a different experience. I just want to know, like, we're here now today. Discovered, right? So we're here 7 years ago. It's May 2008, if my math was right. Kid wasn't here, but we'll catch up with him later. So I'm just starting off. This was a weird shoot. This was a weird day. This was a weird whole thing. Do you guys remember it? Was it weird? What were your thoughts on it? And
That was the
Thanks.
grave digger shoot?
Huh?
That was the grave digger one?
This was the Gravedigger shoot, right? So we did the Gravedigger shoot, then we came
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
this
yeah.
house. The mixtapes had just happened.
Okay.
Right?
That was Elephant in the Sand.
You weren't on the tape. You weren't around, right? Body,
Yeah.
whatever. Then
Body
you were on
Snatchers.
top. You were going on tour. He spoke, and you asked him to come back. Remember?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Come back in the fold.
And then we made the second tape.
And then you
Yeah.
made the second tape,
Right.
and then we put this cover together. And here we are, right?
Yeah.
So we go to this shoot, everybody's supposed to be cool with each other, mad awkward, yay, nay. What do you think of this?
Me personally, I don't remember the awkwardness from that particular day.
Right, Buck, you wouldn't talk to anybody that day, what do you remember?
I just remember basically, that was the.
He was
We
crazy.
had been separated.
Yeah, he was crazy. Like,
I was crazy, and then we had been separated from each other for a while. You know what I'm saying? That was right around the time 50 was like, we get everything back together. So when I came back around, I was still on my crazy shit.
It's still like this period is, like look.
But yeah,
That's the last time you guys are all together.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't notice that the last time
Why do you think I planned it here?
we were all together, we were shooting.
at the double XL.
Last time you together was a G Unity cover, where you shot all together, then we came back here that night, did interviews in every room.
Okay.
Buck was a separatist, Banks was tight, Gato was tight, 50 was trying to bring everyone together. I'm going in, so let's go.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is Banks. My goal is this year is to expose what's really not hot. People are getting lyricists credit that they don't really deserve. Now listen, when we have issues, it's because it'll be like you'll feel like he wants his independence because the shit is really his passion for the writing and the different shit. But the other shit, we gotta get him involved in doing the other things.
Thanks.
Yeah, like he's not into the social networking shit. It's like Pledges. If you was supposed to be a gangster, like in the neighborhood, his behaviors is like street behaviors. Like I don't know nothing to do with that shit. Like because now they're socially talking to each other. Look, if you call yourself you involved in anything that's gang affiliated, you take a photograph, you tag someone else, they look at the other one's pictures, they watch who he knows that you know, they put that together. It's like they don't have to come outside and take the photograph anymore. You show them about who you associate yourself. You could look and be like, yeah, so I don't fuck with you, motherfucker, you fuck with them. So it's like the way you connect the dots there. Now, like even a police investigation, he would be missing from the situation because his activity is completely irate. He might show you a photograph of him on stage when he's home from the tour versus the guy that's showing you what they're having for lunch, different things. And he was like, he thought the camera had cooties and shit. He was gonna catch the cooties if he was in front. Like right now, he got 4. Here's this. Every time we approach launching this actual album, we already have the viral campaign. Because he's wrote so much shit that he didn't actually shoot anything to it, that all we gotta do is pick the highlights, shoot all of those joints, and let them roll out back to back seamlessly, so people actually get a chance to listen. Because some people don't listen the same way. If they see the visuals there, then it forces them to listen to the lyrics.
Right.
You know, and other people, they'll place the importance on whose record's on the radio or who is at that present moment the person that they're actually occupied with. So if that person that they be like, yo, his song is hot for a second, he got a song but he can't write, he's not a lyricist at all. He's not a detailed writer.
So explain all of them. He's a detailed writer.
Yeah.
This is your crew.
Yep.
It's
Banks is a detailed writer, and
Banks is the rapper.
Yep, and that points withdrawing from everything. Like the entire thing is the Lazy Lloyd on his arm is the real deal. Like before anything happens, he could be just outside of everything that else is happening there. And then Buck he can get in his own pockets too, but it's more because he's off in his head. Like he's gonna run around doing the Young Buck thing. So he not going. Like in the day that we actually was all together at that point. Look at the things that he said. Look what you said.
What did I say, Phil? You know what's crazy? For me, it's just about getting shit off my chest and adding the shit out. But as far as being disloyal to my niggas, it's far from that.
All right, so were you disloyal?
Nah, I wouldn't never disloyal. I just think, as brothers, I had disloyal moments. You know what I'm saying?
What's the difference between
Look
disloyal
at
and
yours,
disloyal?
Disloyal moments. It's just at times, I feel like I wasn't. It may be a situation and I wasn't loyal to the situation the way I should have been. Or I didn't handle the situation the way I should have handled it.
The way I look at it, remember it, is that if you're going to be on 50's team, you got to beat everyone he hates. For the most part.
Right.
Fight those battles. Is that true? 50?
Right. I mean,
You know what? Listen,
but that's everywhere.
I mean, just
in any like the
Go
way I was brought up. If that's who you actually down with, then we share those issues.
right.
If not, if not, then I don't have to fuck with all of the people that they're dealing with. Like I don't need none of it. None of it. You understand? Like I don't have to. It's because I want it. I want to rap. I want to run around, write music, and do those different things. I don't have to. I can go do upstairs in my house and go to sleep and do different shit. Like for real. Like it's no different. This is like, look, we are right at the point where they go. Like Jay decides I'm not doing the Rockefeller shit no more, and it's me and Beyonce. And then Beans and them still writing good music. Chris, Neef, all of the niggas is there, still lyrically are the guys that they were.
Right.
But it's a decision that you make when it would be, let me bring it back, and it's kind of on my back, but it was always kind of on my back from the very beginning. But there was points that the highlight reel would play that they don't need me at all. At the point that Shorty want to ride, Buck don't need me for a motherfucking thing. On Fire, he don't have to call me anymore. We can go ahead at that point make the decision to have separate careers.
Right.
This is when like it's right there. It's like, and that's how many years? That's 7 years.
Word.
You see what I'm saying? Like we're conditioned for like at the same time while I'm saying that I'll say I built something that wasn't sustainable in the very beginning, but in reality, it's what evolved out of the situation that we had, because nobody consciously did those things. We all just were in it at that actual point. And then you look, and Jay, to this day, like even when we were taking pictures, he's showing you
What?
the chain or his piece. Look, read what you said.
I said, we all have luxury cars, luxury women, and there's nothing really to complain about. I don't never really complain too much.
Well, okay, so I think that what people were the most surprised by was when you two weren't getting along, when Banks,
Now
listen,
when Ye and 50 weren't
listen.
getting along.
He never said anything at
Banks,
any point that was wrong.
you just stopped talking.
No, what he does is he'll stop talking. completely. Like it just be like, okay, like I know from the day of where we have an issue that there's something there. You see what I'm saying? And then when there's no community, like he doesn't say anything that would make you go, because he's like, nah, I be playing myself, or that ain't how I get down. Like, oh, I don't do no shit like that. Like he got morals that won't allow him to do that. Then when we get to the point that ask him, is it anything inappropriate? Did I do anything to prompt him actually saying those things?
Did he do anything to prompt
No,
you from saying
it was
anything?
the media that took stuff out of context. All I said to a person on Instagram, because I talked to the fans, I said 58 rapping with us right now. I was going
You
through
know
a
what's
lot.
stupid.
It was
You
emotional.
Know, you know what you're typing every time you type.
No,
something.
but it wasn't like I put it on a direct, like on my direct line. It was like me just hitting a fan, like 50 don't rock with us.
No,
like
it
that.
could be
right
no,
now.
when you see me busy, when I'm actually working on active projects or developing films or movies, television programs, whatever it is, when I'm occupying myself with other situations, you can look at it and go, in this case, he has the ability to move forward, do different things on his own and do those other things. But he goes still having to deal with that conflict of, if I make a move, then it's deviating from how I had all the success that I've had to this point. So why do I decide to do some shit like that when we've had all of this success? You see what I'm saying? So you just sit back and you go, nah, I don't know. Which way? And you allow him he can sustain longer periods of time, not say anything. I'm a Cancer, I can hold on to the shit. Like I could be a long time and I'll see somebody and feel the same way I felt when I seen him. So it'll feel like there ain't no way to resolve a situation with me, because you'll see me, they've been around me, somebody done something, and then they left. Like Fredro, right? When I said I'm seeing him, I'm gonna smack the shit out of him. He was in jail at the time that actually took place.
Oh, yeah,
Because he said I was
yeah.
running and I wasn't even there.
Right. But he said things prior to that I promised. I already said I was gonna slap the shit out of him while he was in the street.
Right.
So by the time I run into him, Jay's in jail, but he was there.
Yeah, hell yeah. Man.
But that, I felt the same way I felt when I said I was gonna slap the shit out of him. And it was only because the boy came to me. I wouldn't come to him.
Yeah, he was trying to get a dap and shit.
He walked up, yo, what's up? And then
But he was
and I'm like, nah,
trying,
you know what's up.
basically coming like.
But it was a close corner though, so I can't really say that he planned it.
Nah, he
He
just
cut the corner. He was kind of like
right there. So he was like,
he
yo,
had
what's
to
up?
keep going
But then he was doing rapping
Yeah, his
shit.
body language.
He was rocking back and
his
forth.
body language
Like,
was
he
on
was
some mode.
he was
Like,
like, come on, man, we good. We don't need no dap. He was like, what you mean?
Yo, what you mean? He was like doing the rocking back and forth and shit. And all of that rocking, I'm gonna fire off on you because you telling me that you like, I don't know if
I think it was just the wrong time.
But then look, in the neighborhood,
nah, he was extra though, man. Your man was
Bible
like,
worship.
I
Bible
mean,
music.
what's up then? I mean, damn, yo, like, pow. You see,
Because the way he was moving says,
pow.
because all of that rocking, you really don't know where the punch coming from or what he gonna do. So he moving and man, get the fuck out of there. I'd rather get my shit off and we just roll from there. And then it's just, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things that, because he was right there, that situation happened.
I just don't know what part where Yayo was. What was you at? What was you running
I
at?
was locked up when all that happened.
Yeah, he was in jail.
That was.
Go over to Banks. Banks, what do you think about what 50 said about you? Is it right on?
Yeah, for the most part. But you know, a lot of it is true with me before rap. Like when we sat down and decided who we was gonna be, I always had those issues. He used to literally have to like push me in the video, like,
Yeah, come on, go. What gotta
go
do?
move, nigga, like do something. You know?
You've known him since how old? How many years?
Ben's been 18.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He had the most interesting experience because he'd been rich since he was 19 years old. Like, so you gotta imagine coming out the neighborhood. What I'm saying to you is the right shit, but you don't know exactly because you're just really getting in the music business. But there's more confusion going on than any situation you've ever been in anywhere, because the shooting, the several shootouts in connection to everything else that's going on, and they're going, What happened? So you got to be comfortable with that. Like close friends, really close, inner circle people killing people. So and it's like when this is happening, you going, you got that. The penmanship when you actually start writing things that come out. Banks was a talented writer, writing the things that applied to his school. Like he was writing punchlines first. The first time I came across his writing, we was in the barbershop, and he said verses for me in phase. And I was listening to it.
Raising Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, he had lines that
He was young.
it was the ooh, like if you was in the school,
Trapper Keeper.
you hear the line and be like, whoa. But I was like selling drugs for like 4 or 5 years more, like prior to. So I'm looking going.
Keep them goddamn rounds in the Trapper Keeper. Huh?
The Trapper Keeper line wasn't as effective as it would have been
Word.
if we was in school.
Yeah.
So it took a second and it evolved over his. Well, he did a tape. He did one tape. He only did one freestyle before he was signed like in June.
And that, to tag on to that, the first question, like when we was, not talking and shit, like you gotta understand, I fully was aware of everything. I don't forget nothing, So like, it was a point where I used his energy, his know-how. That shit kind of leaked off into me. Everybody's not the same.
Meaning his mentality and how he deals with things?
He didn't have to tell me. I would just watch.
Alright.
You know,
You
let's
understand?
go pick it up anyway. If you got somebody around you, look, we do shit a certain way. Certain things are effective, certain things are not. You're gonna have people that's gonna go astray. If you took somebody out of our neighborhood and put $1 million in their possession, it's gonna kill them. It's gonna kill them because they're gonna get nice things, and if they don't have any money to spread around to build that actual support system.
And they'll be self-centered. They wouldn't know what to do to make shit work. And I was sitting at the crib like, we did too much. And I wasn't in a hurry, fuck music. Because I was upset with the music business as a whole. I wasn't in a rush to, so to speak, lose my friends. You understand what I'm saying? So that same fan that was telling you, yo, you gotta do your own thing, go do it, was the same nigga cursing me out because they didn't know if I was gonna step on some damn stage. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so once I started to figure this shit out, like y'all just want everything. You want 100 verses, 100 videos, kumbaya. You want all that shit, and it don't go that way all the time.
Look, first of all, they'll say, you know how you see it after you put a joint out and they're like, yo, that was fire. Yo, when you gonna give us another one?
One's not enough.
Never. It's
No,
never.
so
Like,
just in 3
I mean,
years.
it's the week of the tape being out.
Word.
You'll get somebody saying, when you gonna give us another one?
So what does that say? That the
spoil
fans
people,
are
that's
ungrateful?
Because it means
Spoil the fans,
it's just the
fans are
power of
ungrateful, that they're
social
disappointed?
media. I think that it's just the driven force of social media and just
That's now. 7 years ago, you're not dealing with that.
Yeah.
Right,
Same
at
way.
that point,
Speaking
7
on
years
that.
ago, we don't hear them saying, when you gonna give us another one?
Because people.
It doesn't mean
there
that
was
they didn't feel that way.
Yeah,
or
there was
think
no
that way.
IG back then.
It just was no way to say it.
Right.
And if there was no IG, you would not gotten caught saying that shit, huh?
That too. But
That's true too.
you couldn't tweet
'Cause-
Pop.
'cause
You
you
couldn't
know-
tweet Biggie.
That's the
You
thing
don't follow me
about
back.
Instagram too. Sometimes you get caught up in your emotions. 50 been my brother. That's the only person that ever did anything for me in life, more than my moms, my pops, anybody in life, right? Wells, Banks, Buckers, everybody at the table. But 50, when I came home from jail, I was in Battery Park. I could walk the streets with no shoes on and look at the Statue of Liberty. But when you get caught up in your emotions, like Fifth always said, yo, I don't have time to be depressed. I don't have time
Yeah,
to be
depression's a
emotional.
luxury.
He's I ain't gonna phrase he's a tough nigga. Like the stuff that he do, I can't. Sometimes I be like, damn, how Fifth did that. He ain't even, you know what I'm saying? He's tougher than leather. But I got emotional and I said some dumb shit. But that's the first time I ever showed any disloyalty towards Fifth or anybody at this table.
Now look, each one of the situations is when we reach a point when the communication break is a point that if we were just fucking with each other on a street level, it would have been the end of the relationship.
right.
You see what I'm saying to you? But when that happens with Ye and he goes and he's saying the things he's saying, I'm like, what? Then I go, now somebody asked him when you run into him what I did to him. And it's not even it has nothing to do with this table. It has more to do with my journey. Because I've had more people develop the entitlement. When I say I developed things that were unhealthy, is because it was so much success. What kind of friend doesn't? You've never heard anyone say that I didn't pay. Outside of what they were receiving for their contractual obligations, they got a piece of every other thing that happened in front of them. So they didn't feel like it was just happening for no reason. They got gin and shoe checks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Gin and clothing checks. Everything else came. They got a piece of it. I gave them the deals, part of the deals.
But it's on them to get their deals after that.
No, listen, at that particular point, it was the right thing to do to keep everybody functional, everybody around. Look, Banks came out, he sold more records than Ye because of timing. Right? He coming right out off of Beg for Mercy when the new Heat is on, the new artist, and G-Unit at that point. So he does the maximum amount coming off of that.
And he had it.
And he had the hits, he had the records. At the same time, he could have had a shot at doing better with the hits because he was in first. Jay was around before Banks got into the fold, so he would have went first. But he was in jail, so it changes the dynamics there. But because he sold so many more records than Ye did, I bought him a Bentley. So there would be the difference in the money wasn't visible. I gave him a bulletproof truck. Banks bought his own bulletproof truck. You see what I'm saying? Like he had that additional money to do all of that. So he bought his own bulletproof truck, had 4 or 5 cars, right? He had the old school, Lamborghini, Benz, Cadillac truck,
3 Cadillac trucks.
BPs, all of that stuff. So like white bound, he had all that stuff.
Daily drive.
All that did. Nigga
But
going,
why did you stop talking? 2 years, right?
what, for in the community? Look,
You had stopped talking before then you started talking again, then you stopped talking. It was like 2 years, right?
We had
Why did
8
you stop talking?
we had a specific point. We was doing something for Top 40 and crossover radios in Atlantic City.
Yeah, we was in Atlantic City, that's right.
And what I did was I said, I know them so good, I know they're not around each other. Like he'll be in his room, locked away. He'll be somewhere walking around with people. He'll find somebody to hang out with, and whatever the tour is. Now he's running around with him. He got a kid out there running around. So now it's he'll find somebody new to go.
If I'm in Paris, I don't want to stay in my hotel.
Hang out with. So he
I want
goes.
to see
Look,
the Eiffel Tower. Go to Peter Peter.
listen, I'm not saying why. I'm telling you, I know what's happening. Without being there, I know what's gonna actually happen. He's gonna go in his room, boom, lock the door, boom. If it had 4 locks, he'd lock all 4 locks. And go there and go in and out, whether he's listening to music, writing new lyrics, or whatever else
Right,
he's
that's
doing
what exactly-
in that space. He's gonna use that space. He's gonna go out and find something to get into. So he's gonna get whoever else is ready to roll. Yo, come on, we're going over here. You coming? I'm going over here. He's gonna pick somebody and go with them. That's what he's gonna do. Now, with Buck, it's different. Buck, in the early points, prior to us actually falling out, was absolutely fucking crazy. Like he's like a rock star, complete rock star. Like Buck would get rid of $5,000 worth of weed, but like every 3 days, 4 days.
Right.
He do it because he got to smoke. He got, wait, this ain't the right shit. Here, you take this. Call the guy. Look, somebody got to be having. You mean to tell me they don't got good weed in Indiana? Like wherever the fuck we at, he going. Somebody got this shit, man. Who got the real shit?
You ain't bullshit, boy.
And sitting there, he trying to find the best shit he could find. The shit that he just bought from the guy.
See, I buy it all, and I gotta buy my shit from him now.
He bought the shit. Look, he'll buy the shit from the guy. Had the shit go like this. He said, "Man, that shit is alright. That shit ain't it though. But give it to, well, to sell it off the banks or giving it to people that is in his close niche entourage. Give them the shit and say, come on, you got the other guy coming to whatever more weed and shit. I'm like, God damn, y'all need to be a dream. Had me thinking about putting weed in his fucking back and say I can sell it to these motherfuckers. The way they spend all of the money every day, I'm like, shit, I need that money right in his pocket.
All right, so you're locked in the room, you're smoking weed, you're not happy with your weed, you're wandering around looking at the Eiffel Tower.
I'm in the Eiffel Tower.
Why did you choose that stuff?
This is different time periods though. That was the last time, but when we stopped speaking at that point, it was because I looked at we had a conversation about a record,
What?
look, we was all supposed to. I realized that they were doing the show. Like the people that had us come that were from Top 40 and Crossover Radio expected a real show. Cause we was like, yeah, we're gonna do a little something. Like we ain't got no set list, we ain't got nothing. So now I go, tell everybody to come in the room, and we'll just make one show, and it'll be like it's easy work because we're gonna go and you do these songs. Jeremiah was there, so he'll do Birthday Sex and a few of the records that he had. He was his, and then do some of the things that were in his show that separated him from the other talent. Like he'd get at the piano and play the keys and stuff like that. So do those things, and then Hot Rod was there. He had the thing with Leah.
Yeah, song Leah, yeah.
Leah and a few other things that they had that was actually written like Top 40 crossover music. And it was really just having everybody come say what they wanted to say about like what songs do you actually want to perform or for your actual project. So we was figuring it out so we could say like 3 or 4 songs a piece, create 45 minutes to an hour of an actual show, and everybody's straight. So it's like, let me see which songs they want to do, and but when we came to the actual room, we talked about I think I irritated him earlier playing with the Entourage.
Yeah.
With MO and them, like, cause I look.
Hanks, is that true?
His crew. Yeah, look, listen to this. Our crew. Look at this. My crew. Cause initially it's all mines, right? Breaks off in the cells. We have more success than we anticipated after Get Rich or Die Trying. It goes boom. Now, Hunger for More is there. It's the same group that's there would have been guys that were there when it was just 50 Cent's crew. You see what I'm saying? But now they work for Banks. So it's like the road manager, the tour people, I don't care if they was just carrying bags. Actually, Slowbucks comes from the bags area, carrying the bags.
Right.
So everybody that was there broke off in the cells. It was Banks' crews, Yayo's crew, and these are all guys that come from the original crew that just broke. Now everybody has a job function and income, and actually, like, you know, everybody getting paid.
Entitled.
Yeah.
And
So-
feeling themselves?
No, but really, we just all have relationships with everybody from a longer period of time than usual because we all was around at one point in the very beginning. So when you actually when you're the leader of your actual crew and you actually leading them in a different, it can get uncomfortable when someone else comes around and they view him as the lead. Like, you the big homie, and then I come and they go, oh, the big homie. And like, what you mean, the big homie? When you was big homie the night before, like,
All right,
How
so you
far
said
you-
that since you're big homie, then you're saying big homies.
no.
How did that
What
make
I'm
you
saying
guys
to
feel?
you is the big homie don't necessarily like the adjustment that these niggas is making when the guy comes around that they saying is the big homie. Because he's actually providing the way that they actually eat.
Meaning
It's by
you're
way-
the big homie and they're the big homies.
Yes. So
Alright,
like
so
when they
big
do,
homies, how did you feel? Is he right?
cause
I feel like I just hate when somebody use the big homie, like as for me or Blue, to come around, and then they around the big homie and they feel like they don't need you no more because they got around Fifth. That's what happens to me a lot. Like, I have dudes in my entourage be around me, but the plot is not really to be loyal or be down with me. The plot is like, yo, I just want to get around Fifth.
Right.
What the fuck I need you for? So shit like that I don't like.
But
That,
you're used to that.
I'm used to, of course.
I just look, it's irritating when you got people around you that respond to you a certain way and then you see them be different when someone else comes around.
Exactly.
And when that happens, it started to feel like maybe you don't want me around because I feel that energy, the
Right,
discomfort. Whenever
Does
I
that go on there?
whenever I read the discomfort, I'm like, oh, so then you got it then.
You got
You
that.
cool, then you know that
That's the only way
you
that
gotta be responsible for your people. Tell me at what point any of y'all was in jail that you didn't get bailed out?
Right,
I bailed y'all.
right, you know.
Every time, whether you was in a different country, state, wherever you was at, I bailed y'all.
Right.
I paid $400-something thousand for your case in LA.
Word.
So in each one of these situations, you look and you say, you gotta have it. You gotta hold on to it to have it for no matter how many days the sun shines, there's gonna be rainy days.
Definitely.
And you're gonna be the big homie in that position. You gotta be able to have it to help them when that situation comes up around. That's it. You know, like and that they've been that for those cells, for those people that are there, and it's a lot just in that. Like
So you go from 4 dudes who are together, 3 dudes who are together, 4th one comes in the picture, everyone's all love. 2002 to 2005, non-stop success, money, music. People can change on you in that way, and the whole dynamic. You guys grow to be your own bosses, your own labels, your own artists, maybe whatever it is. At the same time, you're still the biggest. How do you all juggle that? How do you feel like your own man and your own thing if you're gonna come into the picture and somebody might change the way they're treating you? And then how do you treat each other and all that? Isn't it that?
For me, it's simple because we always treated each other as men first and foremost. So it's even though 50 is looked upon as big brother, or some people may look at look at him as the boss or whatever. 50 don't give off that to us.
I don't care.
He don't care about that shit.
From the
like it.
outside perspective,
Out-
how that treated you,
But
how
the
that, you had to
outside
deal with that.
perspective never makes it to us. We so beyond that. We ain't built off of what you think about us.
But
We
when it's,
built off what it really is.
I think the outside perspective, it gets hard sometimes because, like, I have motherfuckers that want to come to my house and fix shit, and they see a picture of 50 Banks and 11 million sold records, and the price for plumbing goes for $500 to $2,000 to fix the sink, or to get a haircut. Well, you can give me $150 but don't count my money. I made a couple of mil, but don't count my money as 50.
Yeah, you gonna always have those.
So it's
type
a
of-
lot of pressure
Yeah,
sometimes.
You gonna have those people that just it's just naturally with
Automatically think you got
with being a boss, with being like you say, with being the big brother of us. You naturally gonna have people who just view the situation knowingly that you're dealing with an individual that has hundreds of millions or whatever it may be. You understand what I'm saying? So they gonna always look at 50 as if, or look at us as if, it's the big homie. That's true. But the difference is that 50 don't live, but he don't push that line like that amongst us. We treat each other as one. And even though he is big brother, and he got all this and that, you wouldn't. It ain't like he carries that out like I'm the big man.
It's not like you didn't get any opportunity.
Yeah.
Nothing. He didn't.
And straight up, and it ain't shit
Left
that
at
we
it,
can't
okay.
say and come to this man and say, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what happened to you two? Because clearly, talk about the conversation.
with me and Buck, that was look. We had developed a cycle. It kept coming around. That's how I knew to tape it. I knew what was going to actually be said
The
because
conversation we have been
Doing that.
going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
and again, it was like a part of. To his credit, I liked Buck's music when he was with Juvie, and I met him on the bus. I told him, yo, I'm feeling your joint, and he was like, oh, all right, thanks. But I didn't go further because I felt like it would be disrespecting Juvie.
Bloodhound.
No, but I didn't get a chance to get to Bloodhound until after. Like what happened was, I liked the music that we heard at that point. It was hot then. And he had other stuff. There was a bunch of music that was good, and then it just stood out to me out of the guys that was there. And then what happened was I had caught up with him later. Like Juvie had took a liking to Banks. Like Juvie had already previously sold records, he was already on, so
Right.
it would be enticing or exciting for an artist like to have a guy that you watch on television that sold records is tested and proven already. To point out that he likes your shit, like your music. For Banks at that point, it was like, yo, he was like feeling me. He was like wanting to get up with the joint, and then it was like, because I already was in business one-on-one. So I already had done contractual agreements
From Columbia.
from the very beginning. Like we had the contracts done, everything. So I had a release drawn from so you can go pursue the juvie thing if you feel like you like that, because it was early. We were still early, and he was like, "No, I don't want to do that." Like I like that he said what he said, and I said it to them, like to little Weezy and them.
Yeah. Right.
But that was that, and then we just rolled from there. Now, when we run it next time I saw Buck, we spent 2 days in Detroit doing Automatic Gunfire. Right, we recorded the whole CD of Automatic Gunfire in 2 days that we were there, and it was because Ja had said something about.
Yeah, he called me Tony Mayo.
And he said something about
Yeah, I
Haley.
remember that. Yeah.
And then when that happened, we had a green light to kind of go get him. Like so.
Tony Mayo was the green light.
No.
No. It was when he said something.
He said something about Haley.
The nail in the coffin
Right.
came with Benzino and all
Right.
that too. That was just
It was multiple things happening in that one time.
I remember that time period very well.
And we went to work on that, and then what was it? The next time I saw Buck, we was in.
L.A.
Yep, I was done with I recorded 4 songs in
You was
Detroit.
just putting the touches on Get Rich or Die Trying.
We did Automatic Gunfire, and I recorded 4 records while we was in Detroit. Then when we got to LA, I recorded for 4 days with Dre. Recorded 8 songs.
right.
Out of the 8, we kept 4. We kept 2 out of the 4 we did in Detroit, and it was "Don't Push Me" and "Patiently Waiting."
Yep.
And the 4 out of
Dre was
the 8 we did with Dre was
Pimpin'.
Pimpin'.
If it's beef, cock and dump it.
Yup,
And
that's Back Down.
That was Back
Pimpin',
Down.
Back Down. If I Can't,
Yeah.
and P.I.M.P.
Right.
Very good memory.
Yeah, so we did those, and then we rented a Buck. We went to see him at the Extra Hotel.
Yeah.
And when I go over there, I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And it's like, it had just happened that Juvie left him in
I
LA.
remember this story. Yes, I remember this story. He left you behind.
He didn't mean to. He left him because Juvie had a lot of pressure on him at that point. He was dealing with Baby,
Yeah.
and to get away from.
And he had a whole team underneath him he was paying for.
Right, but to deal with Baby, he was trying to work with Suge. And Suge was, putting contracts in front of him at that point, and that's when he got the pressure on him, and he struck out before he could put them together. And when he left him, but when I came to just see him, like, "Yo, what's up, what happened?" He was like, "Yo, he left me and shit," and I was like, "What?"
Juvie left me in California, but I
Ain't
don't respect
respect
that. I love him too much to
Be
be,
so I'ma accept it. But that's what
what
that's where those lyrics came from. And then when he said that, we went through. I told him, I said, "Yeah, we'll work. Don't even sweat it. We'll work together and shit like that." But I didn't call him till he was in jail.
Then everyone thought that he was the replacement.
They didn't even know. A lot of times they didn't know.
They didn't know, but there was always a wondering if that he was going to have a problem with him when he got out.
No, there was.
And they instantly were good because
No, they
knew
was
from
small. He
beforehand.
was smaller. He was the physicality was closer.
People used to call
complexion,
me
they was
Yayo
calling
when
him
I
Yayo.
was Yeah, I used to run out on the stage.
When we
and
first,
shit. Yayo, I got used to that shit.
he was like he didn't
It
care.
sounds like some racist shit. I don't know
I
what
started
you're
doing.
doing.
They used to be like, Yayo.
Look, the physicality was like really close. The way physically where it was at, and then the complexion was close. So it just came on, and people didn't really know. So from those tapes, there was like, "Yo, it's 3 of them," and then they looked up at the stage and they saw 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? And
Do you understand? I try to explain it to the younger staff here, right? So do you understand the impact, the speed, the energy, the everything that the 2002 to 2005 reign had for you guys? Like how there was nothing like it, there hasn't been anything like it.
it's tough to.
Why did that exist? We'll go to why it will exist again, but why did that exist? Why was it so important? Why is there nothing like it since? Am I right on?
Because you gotta, like, they don't
Explain what it
have.
is.
The climate of the music and the level or degree of what was going on is
Totally different. We sell 13 million records,
Right.
then 10 million records, and then you sit around.
You
and
made it popular for people to talk about how many records
They didn't
sold.
even pay attention to the sound scan. I was looking.
Right. He was.
I was already on. Look, after the first record, look, my first album, I fucked everybody. I didn't even have a separation between. See, the single male has what he can have, not what he want. And then when the shit shifts, when you can just have what you want, because it's like you the one at that moment. Shit, I didn't have nothing that stopped me from doing it. I did everything I wanted to do.
Sounds
But
like we all did.
the second album,
true.
by the second album, he had a problem in the first album. He had a legal pad from the mixtape tour. We come back from the mixtape tour. Never seen it before in my life. The long legal pad.
The yellow shit.
He had phone numbers in 2 rows. We was on tour and he was feeling like I bagged her. I bagged Shorty. 'Cause he had the numbers. He was keeping the numbers like we was in the neighborhood. Like I was like, what the fuck is that? Like I don't remember nobody. Like
In prison, that's how it was my phone book.
Right.
he had a
Legal
full
pad.
legal pad. The largest telephone bill I paid in my life before we
It
actually.
was in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Because he would go back to the house and then he was on the run. So he was staying with me. So we go back to the house, he'd be on the phone like this. Yeah. And literally be on the phone from when he woke up to when he went to sleep. Because some of them was in areas where they would, if you woke up and they was behind us
The
in time.
mixtape tour was big for me. You know, when that was around the time we first did the Double XL too, right?
Yeah.
And we went on that run, and that tour was crazy.
But in 05,
The whole time was crazy because the whole thing was crazy. I mean, you're beefing with fucking Murder Inc. All this shit's going on. We're beefing with The Source. We're a magazine.
Yeah.
We have beef. We've never had beef before. The whole thing was about everybody
Oh,
beefing
yeah.
with each other and the whole energy of just fuck you, right?
Right.
Right.
I like that energy.
05, in 05, the transition though between the
That
we
energy
experienced
was
and
the
that
shit,
was
Yeah.
in 05.
For that.
But I know specifically when it happened. It happened during the massacre. That second record.
It's very exclusive.